The Burleson City Council feels that enough is enough. They say that the U.S. Supreme Court has already done enough to erode the power of the law without the Texas Legislature pushing for more erosion. The resolution before the council tonight asks that the legislature throw out a number of the proposed revisions in the Penal Code. The councilmen object to the general lowering of penalties for crimes and to the increased allowance of temporary insanity as a defense. Burleson Police Chief Homer Barnes says that in addition to further tying the hands of the police, the proposed code would also create constitutional confusion.
I believe fully it will take much longer for trials to come about. There will be a lot of cases will be dismissed because of faulty complaints or revisions that have been made in this new penal code.
Chief Barnes has been one of the powers behind a petition that's been circulated in Johnson County. The petition condemns what the chief calls permissive provisions. The Burleson City Council will probably submit its own special petition to the lawmakers after tonight. Jay Lewis, Channel 8 News on the Move, Burleson.
I think some small investors have become disenchanted with the market, but I see signs that they're coming back into the market too, perhaps better educated, with the idea of investing based on the soundness of the company and not as part of some speculative fever.
Mr. Boltz, there was a report in the last couple of days that one of the brokerage houses had instructed its customers' men to not take orders unless it would net the house at least $15.
Well, we want to hear about such things. If any brokerage firm refuses to take the order of a customer on the basis that it's too small, that's something that we don't think is consistent with the public interest. And we have the small investors' interest very much at heart here, and we want to know about such situations. Of course, a broker has an obligation to, if the customer wants it, to advise the customer as to the suitability of purchasing a security. And some brokers will attempt to use this tack, perhaps, in saying, well, you really shouldn't be in the market.
This sewage treatment plant owned by the city of Forest Hill on the southern edge of Tarrant County is only 15 years old. But for 5 years now, it's been woefully inadequate. It was designed to treat sewage for 5,000 people. Forest Hill population is now close to 10,000. The city was warned about 5 years ago that its effluents, while not being dangerous, was still below minimum state standards. To solve the problem would cost close to $500,000. Preparations began with a bond election in 1966. The last hurdle was overcome yesterday when Mayor Joe Pate announced that the city had received a $73,000 federal grant. They received a first federal grant of $75,000 6 months ago. To solve the problem, Forest Hill engineers worked out an agreement with the city of Fort Worth to link up with the South Side Collector Sewer Main at the Fort Worth Water Treatment Plant just west of here, and with the Village Creek Treatment Plant just east of here. 2 sewer lines utilizing up to 4.5 miles of underground pipe will be used, making this outdated facility of no more use.
No, really, I don't want to get into local politics. I'd rather not, you know. I have, you know, good friends in the legislature, and I'd rather not go into that.
Well, by coming here, aren't you getting yourself involved in local politics, though?
I don't think so, sir. I don't think so. I don't think so, because here it is, the city of Dallas, I understand, has one, correct me, what's the Mexican-American population here? Do you have an idea?
About
150,000, yet we haven't got one representative in the House. And seems to me that, you know, somebody has to come down here and see what's going on.
There are over 10,000 school teachers visiting in Dallas today. The occasion is the 92nd meeting of the Texas State Teachers Association, a 3-day convention encompassing business meetings, exhibits, and famous speakers. The TSTA is a powerful organization, never one to be shy about its feelings on the quality of education. Saturday, the group will get together and voice its collective feelings in the form of resolutions it will present to local school boards and state and national leaders, which will include everything from such touchy subjects as contract teaching to sex education. The classroom teachers of Dallas have added to the list a resolution that could take the governing of teachers out of the hands of political appointees and giving it back to the teachers themselves. The TSTA has some 138,000 members, making it the largest professional organization in the state. And when a group that large has something to say, you can be sure it will be heard. For Channel 8 News and the Move, this is Judy Hanna.
Well, now that is a very bizarre, very unusual case, and its laws have never, at any time in the millions of years that the earth has been here, been able to control individuals. If you recall, the first man born of woman, Cain, was the son of Adam and Eve, was slain by his brother. And the 10 Commandments didn't stop it, and no laws are ever going to stop it. Crimes of passion are not controlled by laws. It's when
laws are based on logic, and people who commit crimes of that nature are not logical. They are emotional. The emotion takes over, and that's what causes murder.
The Burleson City Council, having just vacated their meeting room, feels that enough is enough. The councilmen say that the U.S. Supreme Court has already done enough to erode the power of the law without the Texas Legislature pushing for more erosion. The resolution passed by the council tonight asks that the legislature throw out a number of the proposed revisions in the Penal Code. The councilmen object to the general lowering of penalties for crimes and to the increased allowance of temporary insanity as a defense in court. I asked Burleson City Manager Frank Proctor if he feels the action taken by the council tonight is applicable to other cities.
I feel that people should follow their convictions, and we certainly feel this way in Burleson. In fact, we've had a petition sent to the governor of Texas with over 1,000 signatures from the city of Burleson on it. We've written our senators and our representatives, each one. I've written to all of them. I haven't gotten an answer from one, but I got an answer from Mr. Ward, our state senator. Our state representative. He said,
the action taken by the Burleson City Council tonight may be representative of Texas communities. More and more communities are becoming involved and interested in the laws passed by the Texas Legislature. Such interest wasn't apparent only a few years ago, but now the cities feel that they do have a stake in the future. They have a voice in what's passed at Austin. Jay Lewis, Channel 8 News on the Move, in Burleson.
They had some justified complaints, I think, in some cases, and we're looking very closely at the quickest way which we can improve those situations where they felt that they could be improved, and I do too. So we're looking very closely now at ways in which we can improve our operation in that section of the city and all sections of the city. And I was glad for the opportunity of meeting with these people, and I think it was a productive meeting, and I'm quite pleased with the outcome of it.
Well, this is something a lot of people say Austin Carr is all Notre Dame has, and you stop him and you can beat Notre Dame. Well, you know, they've played approximately 26 games to date, and he's seen every type of defense that could be thrown at him, and he's still averaging 37 points a game. They have some other guys that can really play the game of basketball. They got a 6'8" kid named Pleck inside that weighs 240, and he can push you around and he can run and jump. They got a 6'7" kid named Jones who is averaging over 20 points a game and is averaging around 12 or 13 rebounds a game. They have another one at 6'7" that's strong also. They will be one of the biggest teams we have played this year.
Do you think they will neutralize Kennedy with their strength around the backboard?
Well, I don't think they'll neutralize him completely, because I feel like Eugene is quick enough. He's going to get some rebounds, and he's going to keep competing, and so he's going to do some good. However, one of the strongest points of our game, even though we're a small team, is our rebounding. And it's possible that the Notre Dame's big kids could neutralize that.
Yes, I think many times. Matter of fact, I guess I still get embarrassed to a certain degree when in some public place somebody will start playing the record and ask me about it, and some real clowns want me to sing or something like that. It is embarrassing, and the Archie Who stuff, you know, everyone thinks they're a comedian if they can say something like that, but many times in public it has been an embarrassing situation.
Have you found that perhaps that adulation has lessened to a degree since football season has ended? Have you begun to be able to live a kind of a private life?
I think so. It's been a little better. I think a lot of that's been forgotten, and everyone in Mississippi and around the South, I think, is pleased that I'm gonna be with that the Saints drafted me, and more or less when I see someone, they talk about the Saints and so forth, about being down there. So I think that more or less is taken away from and made some of the things about Ole Miss be forgotten.
I guess his forte was that of lifting the blacks out of this area of poverty and on to a higher economic plane. This man found the opportunities. He went to industry, he went to the giants of industry and sold them on the idea of using more blacks. Then he developed a training program to develop skills among the blacks in the poverty area so that they could fit into industry in gainful employment. This is the great thing he has done, and I'm sure this is the thing that he'll always be remembered for.
Closed down, a victim of progress in a growing community. Jerry Park, Channel 8 News on the Move, Forest Hill.